damn button.
Already with the bullshit. This is the What's Next podcast, right? Oh, I thought I said the wrong name. Shit. Yeah. This is the What's Next podcast. Got too many fucking shit.
Don't know where he is.
What's Next podcast is Monday, 7:00. Gang, gang. This is What's Next podcast, the best and the worst unscripted show you're going to find around. I promise you won't find a better or worse one. All right. I know that sounds a little crazy, but yeah.
No, it don't. That just means we perfect. We right where it need to be at. You know what I mean?
Okay. He said it best. All right. So, hello. Today we have Ignorant Thinker podcast in the building. Mm-hmm. We have Phoenix Speaks in the building. Off the Basis podcast is in the building somewhere. I think he's back to get his paperwork. He's back. And PS5 El Gordo is in the building. Fucking something. So today we're gonna talk about toxicity. Is that a word? Is that how you probably say it? Toxicity.
Mm-hmm. You got it.
Traits we don't toxic traits in a relationship that we might not see, right? But first, last week I announced that the SamzSportz has rented the movie theater for the kids, and we was asking for donations. We had 100 seats. We're down to 45 now, so over half of them is already.
Look at that, boy! You know how to make it happen. Look at you, player.
Sir,
in 1 week, you stole 60 seats. Damn.
Sir, calm down, killer.
You over there selling crack at the crack house, baby. What you
54, sir.
Sir, and
you sold 60 seats in a week. I can't make $60 in the fucking God dang.
Sir. So that's just a small thing that we did. Okay. So first I want to start with current events. Let's talk about how Young Jock messed up. He made a mistake. He made a big mistake. All right. Now this one cost him $1,800, but
$1,800.
Yeah, he sent the money to the wrong person and then sent the text message asking to get it back. And the person blocked him. And he said, "God got bigger plans for you." And he wanted the money back.
I am one of the very few people who feel like they should have just gave bro his money back, because I feel like what you can gain in rubbing elbows is way more than the $1,800 that you essentially stole.
Sir,
it's $1,800.
You can't steal nothing that pop-ups in your account, sir.
Bro,
you can't steal nothing that pop-ups in your account.
But you can cancel and send it back. They knew it wasn't intended.
You can send it back, but you can't. It's not stealing.
You a damn thief.
No, it's not stealing.
Yes, you are, because
they don't listen.
Accidentally send you something, and then they
you know what they're gonna say.
And you know it wasn't intended for you. You're a thief.
You know what my reply back would be if I'm in a fucked up situation?
Stop.
God don't make mistakes.
No, sir.
That'll be my reply back.
That wasn't God. That was human error.
That was a test. If anything, in my opinion, that was a test.
But I'm not going to argue with the dude that lives in the rudest city in America anyway.
I don't know. I agree with y'all that he should have just sent it back. I am agreeing with y'all. But the other side of my brain is like, you don't know where that other person is acting like. That $1,800 may be the jackpot.
Listen, but see, that's what I'm saying. That's the small-mindedness of people to feel like that $1,800 is gonna make or break you. That's $1,800. That ain't shit. This is young fucking job. That's young fucking job.
That's not even small-mindedness. Like, here's the thing: $1,800 can make or break somebody who is living paycheck to paycheck. Let's first of all not minimize that, because it can absolutely make.
I'm talking about based on what more you can gain from sending it back.
Sir, let me finish my thoughts.
I wasn't done finishing my thought.
You know what? You're right. Go ahead. But
I'm done.
You sitting here arguing about $1,800.
I'm done.
If most people don't clear that in a paycheck.
I'm sorry.
Listen, I didn't say that you had to be empathetic, but that in itself is part of the problem, because you're talking about small-mindedness, and I'm talking about being decent humans. You knew it wasn't intended for you. So before we can even get to the rubbing elbows, because this young Jack and he's connected XYZ, just being a decent human, it wasn't intended for you. You're a fucking thief. You're a thief.
I still don't consider you a thief.
If the bank accidentally put money in your account and you spend it, you going to jail.
Shit. Well, then I'm going to jail.
If they don't recover their money, they're coming after you.
Mm-hmm.
I see y'all when y'all get here.
Hey, you know how many people they loan money to that don't pay that shit back? Shit.
Well, no, that's different. That's different. We had contracts.
Oh, you right.
Conversation about what the dollar amount is, felony versus misdemeanor.
I think it's over 10 grand, ain't it?
No, I think it's over 500.
Yeah, it's not a lot. It's not a lot.
It's definitely 500.
Ain't nobody gonna jump on $500.
$999.
That is your question. You. I thought it was 10 grand. I thought so.
I thought it was 5.
I'll take 8, give them the rest back.
All right. Second one. Make sure I hit the right one. So, over in the richest part of the world, they're testing out new advertisements. They're going to be in the sky. We'll have advertisements in the sky. Let me get to the exact words, the wording of it, so I can give you the facts. I should have had that. New advertising concept will turn the night sky into ads. People will see brands instead of looking up seeing stars. How do we feel about this?
First thought that comes through my mind is air traffic control.
What about you, Jay?
Light pollution. One way can see half the stars in the sky now. Shit. You ain't gonna see shit come fucking 4th of July, boy.
So is that distracted driving?
Yeah, absolutely.
When's the last time anybody looked up?
Yo, that's what I was going to say. I was about to say the same shit. Like, how many motherfuckers look up? Like,
I don't know. I am one to for sure look up all the time. I'm always looking up.
Right, but
listen, you don't look up now because it's not on your brain. But if I sit there and I say, hey, don't think of a pink elephant, that's the first thing you're going to think of. So now if you know some shit is in the sky, you're going to be like...
BJ don't like the idea because it's going to block the UFOs. You ain't going to be able to see the UFOs coming in.
And we need to see them, surely. I sent you that video earlier of the people that was walking past the camera.
Yes.
Man, listen, they here. So what I'm trying to tell you, man, it's time for the attackers.
All them guns everybody got ain't gonna kill them.
We gonna find out.
We definitely gonna find out.
We gonna see.
I'm trying to make friends with the aliens. I ain't trying to kill them.
Or we gonna hit the great reset button. But yeah, I do got the double sunroof, so sometimes I do stop and just look up in the sky.
Light flex.
When my mirror clean, because the kids keep putting their hands and shit all on the fucking mirror, so I look up and see handprints instead of the clear sky.
I only look up when I'm like out at night, which isn't often. I live in Baltimore, but
I know the feeling. I live in Lowe's Chirac too. Don't worry about it. I know the feeling.
Listen, in Baltimore, you better not look up. You better keep your eyes where you're going.
Right, you got to look at the dangerous motherfuckers.
That's why I'm usually in the same
like,
location when I look up. I'm not outside with these hoodlums.
All right, so I want to play this before we get to our topic of the day. This prank phone call I listened to the other day. Fucking hilarious. I was in the car dying laughing. I hope y'all find it as funny as I do. Dalton.
What up, D-Man?
I ain't see Dalton in a minute. All right, so I'm about to play it. All right.
It's late. Get it in. All right, here we go. Cat dog. Child support is late.
Hello? Hello, my sweet dog. Called. Yeah, what's up? What was this? This Preston, man. Me and your ex, man. We've been kicking it for the last 3 months. Man, I don't care about you and we not together. We not together. So why you calling me? Okay, yeah, no, that's cool right there. I understand all that. You calling me to tell me that y'all together or something? I don't care about what you and do. Me and not together. I don't give a damn about what do. Okay, no, player. I understand that. What I was calling you about was, you kind of behind, like 2-3 months on the child support, man. And I told I was gonna handle this. What? Well, I told her I was gonna handle the situation, So nah, I don't need you to handle nothing. You don't need to be worried about how many months I'm behind. Who the hell telling you all this anyway? When can we expect another payment is what I'm asking you. First of all, don't you ever call my phone with that. You understand me? Don't call my phone, man, because I'm worried about my daughter, man. I ain't trying to handle no situation. I don't need you on my back, and I don't need you on my back about no damn child support, because I do for my daughter, man. So don't call my phone with that, okay? Okay, well, let me ask you, is you working right now? Man, say, listen here. What's your name? Preston? Yeah, Preston. What I'm saying is you working right now. Preston, I do whatever it takes to take care of my daughter, man. So don't you worry about my job security and what I'm doing. Okay, well, okay. Can I just come? Why not just come by there whenever you get paid next time so I can pick up, the child? Man, you don't need to come by nowhere. I tell you what, yeah, Preston, you bring your around. You come, I'm gonna give you directions right now. You bring your on over here, because I want to see your calling my damn phone, talking about my damn daughter. Hey, man, we looking out for the well-being of the baby, man. That's what we looking. What you think I've been doing ever since she came in this world? That's what I've been doing ever since she got here. Been looking out for her well-being, and some come just getting the picture. You want to tell me about my daughter well-being? You crazy. Why is you 3 months behind then, man? Matter of fact, I do everything I can for my daughter. So for you to sit up here and call me talking about I'm 3 months behind, I don't even keep up with that. I send money when I can. I do for my daughter. I do for my daughter before I do for myself. So if I ain't got it to send, that mean I ain't got it at all. But give me a second and I'll go get it. But don't be calling me about my daughter, man, talking about I'm 3 months behind. Okay, well, look here. First of all, I ain't working right now. So we really need you to go on and get the money over. What? Hold on. You ain't working, but I'm out here hustling. You calling me about some money? But you over there laying over. Both of y'all need to get off y'all and do what the hell I'm doing. That's what I can't understand. It's two of you, but it's one of me. And you want to come to me with that? Man, I told I was going to handle this situation by being behind on this, this little child support situation. That's all I'm saying. I need you to go on and give me a date, man, on when we can expect a payment. Okay, I'm giving you a date right now. Bring your over here right now and come pick up the payment. I got it for you right now. You just tell me what kind of car you drive so I know. Because I don't want to bust the wrong that pull up in my driveway by mistake. I do everything for my daughter. My daughter don't have no wants or no needs. I put shoes on her feet, clothes on her back, food in her stomach. I do everything for her. I don't need you at all. My daughter don't need you at all. I pick her up from school every day and take her to her grandmother's house. So I don't want to hear about no 2 or 3 months behind, because she ain't with I can see if I went 2 or 3 months and she with
Okay, listen, man. That's another thing what me and talked about. We're not going to need you to be ticked.
The Baltimore Symphony
Kennedy assassin.
What if I told
going on?
You'll hear a story.
I'm going to be getting her from the school when she get
Man, you
out.
done lost your I wish I would catch your up in my daughter's school. You ain't picking up my daughter, man. I don't even know who the hell you are.
I told you my name is Preston, man.
Man, I don't give a about no Preston. I'm telling you what, man. I don't want you nowhere near my daughter. That I'm going to talk right now, because I don't want you nowhere near my daughter, man. You understand me? I don't want you nowhere near my daughter, man. If I catch you near my daughter, I'm going to whoop your ass. I'm going to let my daughter know. If
me and the baby is getting along fine, man. All I'm saying is we just need you to send the money, man.
You and yeah, I'm glad y'all doing good, because she anyway. But don't put my daughter in the middle of it, man.
Man, I'm just happen to be in between jobs. That's all, man.
Well, you need to get off your and look in between your cheeks and go find you something. Find you a manhood sitting up there probably on the couch eating up all her Pop-Tarts and
I've only had 2 of them Pop-Tarts, man. That's all.
You ain't supposed to be having none of them, because I bought that for my daughter, man, and I don't appreciate you eating none of that over there. You need to get off your and feed yourself like I do. I feed myself and my daughter and probably your.
Let me say this here, man. I just want to talk to you about our child, man.
Our child? That ain't your child. That's my child.
I'm taking the responsibility.
You ain't got nothing to do with her, though. You ain't got, hey, say, man, don't you ever say that, man. Don't you ever say that to me, man. That is not our child, man. That's my child. Let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something. Put your ear to this phone real close, man.
I'm listening
about my daughter, man.
I'm trying to handle this like men is what I'm trying to do.
You ain't been here the whole time. You trying to walk up in here and talk about our. I'm her daddy, man.
I'm just trying to be a good stepfather, man, and get the child support.
Stepfather, y'all got to get married first. You ain't no man. Say, man. Say, look. I'm gonna talk to and handle this. I guarantee you.
No, hold on.
No.
You don't talk to no more. You understand what I'm saying? You talk to me. You're dealing with me. I told I was gonna handle it. So you're gonna make me mad now. Like I done told you now. You don't talk no more.
I talk to whenever I want to. We got a child together. You just got in the piss. Don't you call no more. You don't talk to ever. You talk to me from now on. You talk to Preston. I'm gonna talk to and I'm gonna have this dealt with. Trust me. Hey man, let me tell you something. You don't call man. You deal with me. Do you understand what I'm telling you? I'm not dealing with you with a thing. You hear me? The only thing I'm gonna deal with you is my foot up your. That's how I'm gonna deal with you. Look here. I got one more thing I need to say to you, man. I don't want to hear nothing else you got to say, player. I done heard everything you had to say. Let me tell you something, man. You want a job? We hiring right now. I'll put you in with the man in charge. I'll get you a job. Nobody want to work with you, man. I don't like your attitude. You need to work with somebody because you ain't working with nobody right now. I got one more thing I need to say to you. You listening? Man, say what the hell you got to say, man. This is Nephew Tommy from the Steve Harvey Morning Show. Man, I don't give a damn. Say, man, I don't care who the you are. I don't play about my daughter, man. No, it's Nephew Tommy from the Steve Harvey Morning Show. You just got pranked by your cousin Kendrick, man. Oh, man. I'm going to kill this. You all right? Oh, no, man, because I don't play about my daughter like that, man. That's my...
Listen, that man was so sincere. And everything he said was fucking true. And he was trying his best to keep his shit together. And look, Dennis over there fucking laughing and shit. Sir. he got to leave people the fuck alone, yo. Hey, Carlos.
That
Carlos.
That motherfucker said only at 2
Hey, Carlos, why you shaking your head, Carlos?
Because it's just crazy how people still fall for that shit.
Because motherfuckers don't watch the show. When you ain't watching the show, you don't pay no attention to shit. If you want to sprint to the spot, you don't see it coming, got you. But if you listen to the, I'm sorry, don't watch. I meant to say listen. If you listen to the show, you'll know one day he's gonna get you.
I'm unprankable. I'm unprankable.
You've been doing this shit for about 15 years.
That shit was wild, bro.
I'm unprankable. You can't prank me.
Yo said our child. That motherfucker lost it. He fucking lost that shit when he said our child. Our child.
He said, so motherfucker, you got to get married first.
Yo, he cocked that motherfucker, said, I don't want to hit the wrong person when you come in my driveway. I was driving, I was like, hold on, what the fuck was that noise? Wait a minute.
Well, he said, you probably sitting on the couch eating all them Pop-Tarts. He said, man, I only had 2 Pop-Tarts.
That was fun. That part was funny.
All right. So topic today, toxic relationships and things that we might not recognize. A relationship can be in your house, at work, at school, your neighbors. There's a lot of different things. There's a lot of different areas we can swing this month. But do anybody wish to start? Or y'all want me to start?
Toxic work relationships. I do. With that being said, I give the people that work remotely, shout out to y'all. Y'all got it pretty good over there. Y'all ain't got to worry about them toxic. Y'all ain't got to worry about them toxic ass coworkers. It's some motherfuckers that actually come to work.
That's not true.
The fuck with other motherfuckers. Like I really believe it. I don't know if there's some people out there in the world that ain't had a nice day in their life. I really do believe that. There are some people out there that ain't had a nice day in their life. Won't even say good morning, just walk right by you. Like, terrible. I ain't gonna say no more because I think my coworkers watching. They gonna know who I'm talking about.
Speaking of that, when I go and pick a motherfucker up, if it takes me 10 minutes to get to you, you got 5 minutes to come outside. It's only the people going to work. When it's time to get off, you quick as shit to get in the car. Stop wasting my fucking time in the morning, yo. If you don't want to go to work, yo, just stop. Don't waste my motherfucking time. Have me come over there and sit waiting on you. I'm missing my goddamn price hikes and bonuses, but I'm sorry.
So it's a little situation they got to go through, man. It's like they got to really think about it. Do we really want to go? Then them bills,
the ride of you,
bills come to the crib, then you be like, you know what? I gotta get there. That's the toxic work relationship. And them snitching ass coworkers. I forgot about them. Them snitch bitches. Forgot about them. Snitching to get your position, but yet they get you fired. They still don't get your position. Fuck out of here.
Sir. Are you done?
I had a guy like that at a job I previously had, and dude looked like fat bastard to me. And he had the brownest nose in the entire office. Like,
if he sucked ass any harder, he would have left a hickey.
Do I really want him to repeat that?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Can we get focused, please? Because this fucking Dennis just. I'm sorry, Dennis. Wayne.
I feel like on the serious note though, like, a lot of times you really don't know that you are in a toxic relationship until you get out of that relationship and look back on all the bullshit.
You fucking know. Fuck that. You fucking know. You know. You fucking know. You know. You just with it. But you fucking know.
You know, when people operate in chaos, Dennis, they don't see their chaos when they in it. Like, people are so used to chaos, they don't see it when they in it. You sitting there looking at them like, bruh, I know. They don't see it. Operating in chaos. People do it all
they
the
like
time.
it. Sound like they like it to me.
So, toxic relationships is when we speak of toxic relationships is anything that has a negative effect, or is it things that I guess make you look bad? Because some people can deal with certain things, other people can't deal with certain things. So this is my life, and this is how I choose to live my life, and this is no, baby. he gonna fucking kill you. It's time for you to fucking go. Or she gonna kill you, sir. It's time for you to fucking go.
But I'm in love. But I'm in love with this situation. So
the verbal disrespect, stealing your money, disrespecting your children, disrespecting your children, like that shit. That should be most people. That's most people cut off. Relationships are learned behaviors. So if you're in a relationship, there's your family relationships, and they don't see a problem.
Oh.
That's that operating in chaos I was just talking about. I did
so
a whole
sometimes that be your
I did a whole series on toxic relationships 2 years ago in my blog, talking about toxic relationships and how they stem further than your romantic relationships. I talked about my toxic relationship with my parents. I think one of the problems is people don't know how to draw lines. They don't know how to create boundaries for themselves. And then in certain situations like parents, people tell you you're wrong for drawing a line. People will tell you quick, you only had one mother. You're right. And she's still toxic. And I did a whole series on.
Okay.
Oh, that's Sharice, the Facebook user. Hello, Sharice. We haven't seen you in such a long time.
And she's still toxic. And I did a whole series on.
Thanks, shout out to Sheree. Can you fix a toxic relationship?
It all depends.
You can.
What it is,
Hold on.
But it requires two people to fix it. And most times, the other person doesn't want to fix it.
Or don't know
how. Go ahead, Jay. I got to hear this shit. Go ahead, Jay.
In my eyes, no. But before I start, because I kind of noticed something, at no point do the points that I make say that I'm right or wrong. I just go by my experiences. So, with that being said,
you got a disclaimer and shit.
No, because I don't want to seem argumentative.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be the nice one. So so reason being, you can't fix a toxic relationship, especially what you saying that it stems from, maybe your parents or your relationship with your work. You have to want to fix that part yourself before you can even say, okay, let's fix this. Because I'm not at your workplace. I'm not your parents. So do you feel like it's fair to be like, okay, let's fix this when you still have a bunch of baggage that you need to handle yourself?
I understand what you're saying, sir.
All right. So
I get what he's saying, but he's going on the premise that person hasn't healed or it's the other person's issue. Because sometimes when you're in toxic situations with people, it's not necessarily something that you did. These things can stem from things that you did or things done to you or things that you allow. When you're in toxic situations with your parents, most times it's things that you allow because they're your parents. And then some people are just assholes. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why I say you can fix it, but both parties have to want to come to the table and fix it. And a lot of times the hardest thing to do is convince somebody that something is wrong when they don't think something is wrong. That's the hardest thing to do.
Now you preaching.
Especially when you're talking about the relationship between a parent and their offspring, because I'm not going to say child, we're all adults. And depending on how you were raised or how your parents were raised, It's just a cycle of toxic behavior. Because I mean, some people talk to their children crazy. I would never talk to my children that way, but that's a whole nother conversation.
I didn't know my name was Jared until I was in 5th grade. But go ahead.
Wait, what? Time out.
No, I understand that.
So much and so little at the same time.
I understand that all the way. Trust me.
Like, I know, like, when people be posting, it's a post on Facebook that pop up every once in a while, and it be like, what's the nickname that your family gave you? Like, and I always look at that shit like, damn, my nickname always been Little Motherfucker.
No, I had a good nickname. I can't say that.
I never had a nickname.
Hey, you're BJ. The fuck? Your real name was Brandon.
That's not a nickname. I just made it on Facebook one day because I wanted to change my name. And
so nobody's ever called you BJ in your life?
No.
I just made it on Facebook and everybody called me BJ. That's how I know. Like when the football field and coaches be like, "Hey, coach, hey BJ," and that's how I know you know me from Facebook. You don't know me from real life.
I know you in real life, and I call you BJ.
When I got to the Hawks and shit, I kept saying Sarah so much. Now they call me Sarah.
Yeah, you need a shirt to say that.
I got two now. Shout out to my guy, Trigger. Got me a hoodie that said Coach Sarah on it. I didn't ask for the hoodie. I told him I didn't want no hoodie, and he got it anyway. Shout out to my guy, Trigger.
That's a good thing. You need it.
But
so
now, if we're talking toxic relationships, I'll be the one to kick it off. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. My most toxic relationship is the relationship with my mother. You know what? Fuck it. We talking.
Oh, shit. He took his glasses.
All I've seen since I can remember is my mother's back leaving the door. It's never changed. It's always been like that. It's been about her and her addiction. I'm going to ask you, do any of you know what it's like to grow up as a kid in the inner city and everybody knows your mother's a hooker? Not really fun. I promise you it's not fun. Take it. I know. Do you know what it's like to then be sent to an old lady in your family? And this kind of has something to do with what you said, Phoenix. When how you say like your parents could talk to you crazy and everybody's like, oh, like you only get one, you get one parent. Mine was something different. We had an older lady in our family that I ended up going to live with because I was taken away from my mother at an early age, who everybody seemed to look up to like she was the Dalai Lama of the family, but she was the most evil motherfucker I've ever met in my life. Yes, I am. So I mean literally the most evil, bruh. The hardest I've ever been hit is by this lady. And I've been in fucking hundreds of fights in my life. I'll tell you a quick story just to give you a premise of who she was. You know, when you live in the projects, people pee in the elevator, right? I'm all of 7 years old. I have new sneakers. My sneaker laces are untied. We get in the elevator. I get in the elevator with her. And my sneakers are untied. And they're in the pee. I don't notice it. She does. She says, tie your sneakers. I look down. Oh, hell no. My sneakers are in the urine. I'm not doing this. I said, tie them. I look at her in her face. I say, no. She clips me. I fall face first in it. This is the evil lady. But then here's the shit that pisses me off. Everybody in my family looks at her like she's the fucking goddess angel, and I'm looking like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, are you kidding me?
You know, in our community, we have a tendency to put toxic Black women on a pedestal anyway. And I know I'm getting ready to strike a chord, but I go for broke every time. Because that's beyond toxic. You know what I'm saying? What you're telling us is abuse.
Hold on. No. But I'm gonna tell you where it stems from. Because like I said, we talking, and I'm not gonna. BJ, you're kind enough to put me on your show. I feel like I'd be doing an injustice if I wasn't 100% truthful.
Oh, I was scared for a second.
No. She had her own issues throughout her marriage, and things happened to her.
Shout out to Sharon.
To a point where she didn't like men. Like, she just hated men. But now she has to raise a young black man who in turn she fucking hates. Mm-hmm. So, needless to say, I was a victim of a lot of shit. A lot of people wouldn't know it because I'm all happy and smiles, but I've dealt with this shit took 30. It still takes a toll on me. Where I deal with shit and shit triggers me. You know what I'm saying? So like if all right, like my whole stance on medication when it comes to medicating your kids, you know, for behavioral, I speak from experience. That shit wasn't nothing. Like, you're trying to convince me that I was crazy at a fucking young age when I was just a kid. And then it dawned on me when I got older, you were just doing that. So if I ever went and said, she's fucking me up at home, I would look like I'm crazy and I'm lying.
There was also the money.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, well, I came with a check.
At that time,
you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how they look at it.
Right. At that time, if you took the pills and you went along with the system, then you get the check. Then, yeah.
Yo, so now, do I strike you guys as if I'm crazy at all? I'm probably the most patient.
Depends on what we talking about, but I'm gonna leave that alone. Yeah.
But when it comes down to it, and then I end up after she dies, right? I get sent to my aunt, who played the mind game, and which was fucking worse. I remember one of the first things my aunt telling me was, pick a vocational school. You're not good enough to go to college. You're telling the fucking 10-year-old this. That's about to go into high school. 11, at some point, I think I want to call 11 going 12, whatever. You tell a kid this. So how is that conducive to raising a kid? And then you also got the quote of, oh, I was done raising my kids. I'm doing this as a favor to my dead mother. You tell this shit. Like, you tell this shit to me. This is shit. These are things that have been said to my face from a person.
Absolutely, Sharon.
You know what I'm saying? Like, these are things that I'll never fucking forget.
So,
you know what I'm saying?
Do you have kids now?
Absolutely. Yes, I do.
Have you broken that cycle?
Absolutely. I don't hit my kids at all. Like, I don't hit my children. I don't yell at them. We have conversations. I can't, because if I do, I feel like I feel like
having a bad day, then no, I don't hit them, but I don't pop them and none of that. But most of the time when I start yelling, like, my issue get across, so I really don't have to hit them. Every now and then I'll bow one time real quick in the middle of his chest, pop, surprise, motherfucker. Yes, sir. Listen, I didn't know that you went through all that. I did not know this show take it down.
I told didn't I tell you this shit was going to get dark? Because I knew what I was going to do.
So I have some similar stories, but I'm not at that point when I would just come out and start speaking like that, like, sir. Because
I've always felt, whenever I said if I ever had to do it, because I always used to be like, I'm not telling nobody nothing. Now I have no problem, because it's like, if I don't say anything, I'm protecting these people.
Right.
Like you'll never be held accountable. Like one of them is dead. She'll never be fucking held accountable for what she's done, and that's what pisses me off. I'll never get I'm sorry from her. You know what I'm saying? But then I still get every December 2nd, oh, blah blah is the greatest lady I've ever met. Oh, I try to mold my life like hers or something. And I'm like, she's the shittiest human being I've ever fucking known. And these are my family members that I'm close to. Like I'm close to them. And they're saying this shit. And that shit hurts me so much because it's like y'all are gonna sweep under the rug because y'all know. Y'all knew this shit. And nobody said nothing. And y'all are still acknowledging this lady like she's a hero when she was never that.
Well, real quick, let me lighten the day a little bit for you. SamzSportz
got James Robinson.
James Robinson. Yeah, James Robinson. SamzSportz breaking. James Robinson to the Jets. All right. Now, go ahead. Back to your regular special.
There you go. No. Keep
Let's go into the Super Bowl. I don't know what nobody say. We going to the bowl, baby.
Can y'all focus on the task at hand?
This is Task at Hand. This is the network.
Listen.
I'm sorry.
Listen.
No, it took me to get out of my toxic relationship with my dad to realize that the shit that I was going through wasn't normal.
Oh, yeah, Sharon, they knew. They knew. They fucking knew. Everybody knew. It wasn't like I wasn't showing up.
I really want to
teeth.
ask you a question, Jay, but I think I might be overstepping my boundaries.
Bro, you can ask me whatever you want, bro. I have nothing to hide. Nothing. I told myself anybody ask me anything.
I mean, I know how you said what your mom was doing and all that, but it's just something in me that made me think that your mom might have took your grandmom's man.
Huh? No. No, I don't think so. No, not that I know of.
Right. That just it just all made sense to all this trauma that you was going through. That's what I was.
Nah, I'm the victim of one being a young black man who was hated, who was born in a family of black women who hate black men. Also, I'm byproduct of the daughter that she has. I'm her grandson. So she has 3 daughters. 2 of them she loved, and one of them she kind of like cast it off like the black sheep. I'm the grandson of that black sheep. So now it's like, okay, so I don't fuck with you, so I'm going to take it out on him because he's what you hold dearest to.
A 5th and a 6th round pick, though, like what the hell?
Yeah, I really think that is commendable, and that's a very minimal word that you can have this conversation and be transparent. Because
I've gone through so much therapy.
I was segueing to that because
I'm so comfortable. I'm so comfortable with me and my story and where I'm at now because I know for a fact that there are other people who went through this who aren't at the age of 33, who decided, okay, maybe I just need to check out and delete my player.
But it's evident that you've been through therapy, and we have such this negative conversation around mental health in our community, and you are the product of trauma healing because healing is an ongoing process. I tell people that all the time. You go through something, you get your couch time, but understand just like you go into recovery as an addict, and you'll always be a recovering addict, you will always be healing from your trauma. Some days are better than others, but there's triggers. There's we all have had.
But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Like my bad days are always my birthday. Always. I'll tell you why. Because again, I have nothing to hide. My father OD'd in front of me on my birthday, on my 14th birthday, right in front of me. No lie. Also, I got kicked out of my aunt's. The aunt's house, the one that had the mental game. I got kicked out of her house, and finally got to my grandmother's house, who I've wanted to live with since I was a baby. But I got kicked out of her house at like 11. It's October 7th. My birthday's October 8th. At like 11, brought to 108 Projects, and I had to my grandmother didn't even know I was coming. all I had was just my bags, and I didn't even know which door was her door. I had to ask. Like, this is the shit that I had to deal with growing up. I was the kid, and you ask anybody now in my family, I was the kid that nobody wanted but my grandmother.
So we was the kids that nobody would watch because our mother would drop us off and never come back.
Drop off. Boy, look, I ain't seen my mother fucking. Well, I've seen my mother recently, but
gone. Sir, you know how like in guys, males don't show affection and shit like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, sir, I would give you a hug, sir. Virtual hug, sir.
You know, but also like this shit.
Scene, but sir,
I was told in
it gives me peace, but I also have PTSD from this type of shit though. Like, so in my marriage, she will always get mad that I seemed like I was so nonchalant, like I didn't care. But my thing was like, I'm not going to go off about us not being able to pay a bill. I'm not worried about that because I know, like, I've seen bad. Like, I know what bad is. Us not being able to pay a bill this month, that's not at the top. Like, we could be fucking homeless right now. You know what I'm saying?
I had the same situation with that, and I had to learn that, you know, I'm not going to say all women, but there are some women out there that's like, yo, I could do bad by myself, but I can't be flipping when I got a man with me.
Facts. That's also facts. But my thing was that I had to learn that how I feel, how I compartmentalize it, how I handle shit, other people don't do it that way, and I have to be empathetic to that. And that took me a while to do.
And then I still haven't learned how to come home and talk about what the fuck I did during the day, because obviously I ain't really give a fuck. I'm home now. That's just how I've been. I'm home, you know. Like I really ain't give a fuck about like literally, like I don't like coming home talking about work that like that for real. That's just something major that happened. But there's a lot of women that I have bumped into that's like, yeah, well, we want to know what you've been going through. No, fuck that. I got paid for what the fuck I went through. That's cool. I'm not talking about it because I ain't getting paid for it now. Like, shit.
I had to learn, like I was saying earlier, like I had to learn when I got out of the relationship with my dad that the shit that I learned wasn't normal shit that everybody actually does in life. So I had to regrow up. And one of the things with being married that I've had to learn how to do is communicate. And not only communicate, but communicate effectively and also in a way that the other person understands. Not in the way I understand, but communicate in a way that somebody else understands. Because I've always been I said what I said the first time. Like, I don't like repeating myself. I hate repeating myself.
But they want
this is like what we said. We had the thing that we said last week. Like, we had to, like, especially the way we grew up, you know, we had to unlearn the survival tactics that we learned growing up.
Facts.
Because we're grown now. Now we have responsibility. Our responsibility is not just our own self. We got kids. We got wives. You got people you're responsible for. So therefore, you can't carry those same tactics or those street tactics and so on and so forth that you learned growing up. Just the art of survival for yourself. It's not just about you no more. And that shit is hard to unlearn and then learn something new because you're like, this shit took me. This is all I know.
Right, I had to unlearn. I had to unlearn survival and learn how to live.
I adjusted, but I adjusted differently. I adjusted like the feelings that I had was on the back burner. You know what I mean? I had a bad day today, but who gives a fuck? Should the bills still due? You still got to worry about the kids' school. You got to take care of the household. So who gives a fuck if you had a little bad day, got an argument with somebody? Who gives a fuck? Nobody gives. That's the way you just fuck. Nobody gives a fuck.
My wife gives a fuck about that shit.
Those are the things that when I was in a relationship that they wanted to hear. I really didn't want to talk about that shit. I really didn't want to talk about that shit. You got to move on.
But like Carlos said, over the years, I have learned it's not about you, Brandon. Just take a deep breath. Just say it again. Say it one more time. Okay, just say it again. Take a deep breath and just go ahead.
That's why I told you. That's why I told you. My next relationship, I'm getting them big ass police boards, putting it on the board. No need for me to say it again. It's on the board. The board's in the room.
Effective communication doesn't need repetition either, fellas. If you're communicating and she didn't understand what you said the first time, clearly you didn't explain it in a way that she understood. But that's a two-way street, because a lot of times we are oftentimes listening to respond versus listening to understand. And when you're listening to respond, and I'm not speaking just of men, I'm speaking of people. When you're listening to respond, that's where the problem comes in. Every single time. When
it comes down to it, we're taught that the world doesn't give a fuck and it doesn't owe us anything. So we're so used to it, like nobody's going to care if my boss yelling, and that's what's crazy. Like, but we're just so used to it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
The world does not care. However,
you don't have to wear that on your shoulder.
When you are in a relationship and the person that's laying next to you doesn't care, that's where the problem comes in, because the world does not care. However, when you couple yourself to someone and you find a person that you're laying next to, supposed to be in the trenches with, when they don't care, you got a problem, a huge one. And those are the conversations that are you could do that all by yourself. Because I don't have a problem being broke as long as we can figure it out. I don't have an issue with being mad as long as we can work through it. But the minute I feel like I'm in this by myself, you are going to leave me alone.
So, I had an issue once when I wanted this. She did this. So I felt as though she don't care because that's not what I said. And then we got into a little thing about that. But it's different understandings. And again, stop for a second, reevaluate the situation, and start the shit over. Try it again.
Because in all honesty, like she said, like you may not have said, you might have said what you said, but you didn't say it in a way that other people can understand. You probably just blurted that shit out the first thing that came to your fucking mind instead of being thoughtful about who's listening to what you're saying.
That's a big thing right there. Different background, different experiences. That's a big thing. The way some people was raised really shows when you've been in a relationship with them. Like, yo, who the fuck taught you some shit like that? What?
Because when you raised in struggle and when you raised in love, those are two different conversations.
Two different conversations. And like he was just saying, he was raised in trauma. so he probably, you know what I mean? I'm not sitting here picking on you, but you probably was with your girl, and then next thing you know, she's like, "Oh, what the fuck is wrong with this nigga? Need help." Like, that's probably what she was going. Like, this nigga need help. And I know I was like, that's what you thought was something.
I've had an ex-girl. No. One of my ex-girlfriends tell my face, yo, you know, your house could be burning down around you and your demeanor won't change.
And I've been called a robot too. Don't feel bad about that. I've been called a robot
but the thing is it like my face does this, but in my head I can't fucking stop I can't stop the thought process of what's going on.
But that's probably a trauma response though.
Yes and no. It depends, because I'm like that too. But I'm not a panicker. That's stupid.
I don't. That's the thing. I don't panic.
And I hate people that are indecisive. And I learned that indecisive people actually trigger the hell out of me. Like, I gotta go. I have an issue with the fact that you want me to respond how you want me to respond versus how I'm responding.
Oh, child. Say that again. Say that again.
The way that other people respond. And this is
I'm guilty of that.
Number one issues that I have with couples when they come to me for coaching. You cannot make this man respond the way you want him to respond, darling. He's only going to respond the way that he can. And what he cannot do as the head, because I'm just assuming this is a traditional role type of relationship, is lose his mind and he has you to take care of. That's crazy. And the minute I say that to a female, then they're sitting there looking crazy. Well, what did you want him to do? Panic and run out the building that was on fire and leave you in it? Or did you want him to be stoic and get things done and make sure that you would stay safe? Pick a struggle. Because
I miss you saying that so much. Pick a motherfucking struggle.
The first thing we have to do in relationships is people always want to lead with the heart, but you have to lead with logic at some point.
Yes.
Because there are questions that you have to ask yourself. Yes, I love him, but am I going to be able to deal with XYZ 20 years down the line? Yes, I love her, but am I going to be willing to deal with XYZ down the line? Do I love this person with contingencies? And most of us are contingent lovers. We love contingency.
Is that toxic in and of itself?
Not necessarily toxic, but you have to know where you sit on the scope. You can't say, "Oh my God, I'm so in love with you. I would do anything for you." But because 3 of y'all are my Facebook friends, and I'm sure y'all saw my text. When you say "buts," it negates everything you said before that.
But what? I mean,
so what I'm saying to you is,
I didn't see that, but I'll go look at it.
Right. Dennis, I love you, but whatever I'm doing is going to
that's what all you say to yourself is, but what? Motherfucker, like what? Like,
you just X'd everything out. So people have to understand, one, love is an action word. 2, understand how you really love people. And 3, understand that when men fall in love, usually they make a decision that they're going to be in love with you, which is very different from how women love.
True.
Oh, so
can you explain? Wait a minute, BJ. Wait a minute, BJ.
Men,
I'm getting ready to explain on that.
And okay. Go off what they
so
hear. That's why
I get argued down every time I do a panel.
No. You got to say that again. Hold up. She ain't hear you. Say that again. Say that again, BJ.
I was listening to this show the other day, and the guy was on there saying that women go off what they hear, and men go off what they see. That's why men lie, because women wants to hear.
And women wear makeup.
And the problem with that is then you run into a woman like me. I don't give a damn what the hell you telling me. I'm watching you. Because again, love is an action word. Like most things. I understand action. I don't understand your words. Because if you want to effectively communicate with me, you have to show me.
That's it.
You have to show me.
As Sharon would say, I'm from the show me thing.
Dennis, Carlos, BJ, all 3 of y'all know this about me. My movement will tell you how I'm feeling about you. My mouth will too, but my movement will absolutely, because I'm willing to be uncomfortable for people I love. I am willing to be uncomfortable. And do you understand that this shit don't do uncomfortable? So if I'm willing to make myself uncomfortable for you, I love you.
Thank you. I love you too.
I do not love with contingencies, but I will remove you quickly.
So are you?
So the moment you have a contingency is the moment that shit is done and over with.
Oh,
no,
shit. Here you go, Dennis.
Here's the thing about the contingency. Well, you're right, because once I have to
Dennis.
I have to put distance between us. I gotta love you from afar. Dennis, you can't be in my bubble, because that means you're going to do something that's going to harm me or disturb my peace, and you gotta go.
So, are you comfortable right now?
Me?
Yes.
Yes.
Very. Can you give me 4 wings and fries so you can get uncomfortable? I just want you to see how much.
Are you gonna bring me the chicken?
No. You said you're gonna. No, you said you comfortable. You said you're willing to get uncomfortable for people. You gonna give me the 4 wings and fries? I'm just trying to see.
This motherfucker, boy.
What kind of chicken you want? You want it
I'm
fried?
okay
You
with
want
it.
some
No,
Phoenix?
I'm okay with
What
it.
you
It's okay.
want?
I just wanted to test it. I mean, you pass it to. I appreciate
He
it.
want the honey Old Bay chicken wings.
You want
Watch
Dennis?
your mouth.
Don't
Watch
be
your
putting
mouth.
in
You
no
don't
order
know
for
shit
him.
about this. You don't know shit.
I don't eat them. That's him. I don't eat them. That's him. He the Old Bay motherfucker. If it ain't no Old Bay
That must be a
around, ain't
Baltimore
shit good.
thing. I
That's
don't know
him.
nothing about that.
I've been with this motherfucker
It is a Baltimore thing.
numerous times out to eat. If it ain't no Old Bay around, the shit wasn't good.
Shout out to Ron. So you know how we hold on to things. So let me tell you about my life. My first summer job. You know how long ago that was?
Right. It had to be at least 20 years.
Talking about you working 2 weeks for $200, yo. Like,
I remember those.
But you ain't had no bills though. You gotta remember, you gotta put all that together. You ain't got no bills.
No, when I had a summer job, I had to pay rent.
Because I was about to say that's not.
My mother charged me $100 every time I got paid.
Damn.
Yeah.
You worked 2 weeks, y'all. You got was $100.
Listen. So then I saved my money up, got my Xbox at the end of the summer. Promise you, boy. I went in there to go get a PS. Was it PS3? Was it PS2? I think it was PS2. And I was like, no, I want to be different. Give me the Xbox. And that's when I made the switch. And I ain't go back since then. So things happened in our life, and I was at my homeboy house one day. Now I had to take the bus up to Overly, get off, and take that 30-minute walk because the bus stopped running from the Overly stop all the way up to his house. I took that 30-minute walk with that heavy ass Xbox. Y'all know the Xbox back in the day. That shit had weight to it. Man, listen. And I get up there, and she called me one day and was like, hey, I need some money. I need you to do me a favor. I need you to sell your Xbox and then get back on the bus and bring me the money. And she was like, I'm going to give it back to you at the end of the week. And as a kid, you can't say no.
Negative. Fuck that.
Boy, I heard that shit forever, yo. Like, yo, I bust my ass all summer to get that
I want
money.
my kids to know.
And then
you can always tell me no if it's out of your scope of understanding or believing or whatever it is that's out of your scope of. You can tell me no.
At least your parents asked. My shit was just taken. My shit was just stolen.
But I was already gone. So at the end of the week went by. I ain't say nothing. The next week went by. I'm like, hey, I mean, what's up? I need to get my shit back. And it was like, oh, we all got to make sacrifices for our family. So wait, time out. Time the fuck out, right? Yo, like, I just been holding on to that shit. That shit still make me mad sometimes when I go back and think about it. And it's just like, yo.
One thing that still makes me mad about my childhood is when my mom died, I got a state check. Every month they sent me a surviving son or whatever. I don't remember what it's called, but they send you a check when a parent dies. My daddy told me from that day when I got that check, I had to give him half of it for rent every month.
Why do black parents do that shit though? Because I don't ever see it in other households.
I've never paid rent in my parents'
responsibility.
And that's how I want it. That's how I want it with me. Like if my kids want to come, I'm supposed to be their safe haven. I'm supposed to be the fallback plan.
I've never paid bills in my parents' house, and I say that as someone who was living outside of the house when she had her first child, and her father moved her back home because he said no child of his was going to live out in this world with his grandchild. And I still did not pay bills in their house. Now, I contributed to food because I had a little crumb snatcher, but I did not pay bills in my parents' house. My children will never pay bills in my house.
I feel the same way. Never, ever.
I do not subscribe to that. I do not subscribe to putting your children out when they turn 18.
At 18, yeah.
I do not subscribe to you trifling MFs putting bills in your kids' names. I don't subscribe to that.
I don't subscribe to that.
I got a whole laundry list of things that really trigger me. In our community, I think that y'all are horrible, and I will tell you in your face, like this gangster goes beyond the screen. That's trifling. And then I was attacked by this woman I was still married. You don't know what it's like to be a single black woman with children. I had 5 goddamn children, and I'm without child support, and I still can take care of the children that I opened my legs to make. What about you?
4.
Listen,
some girl told me that she was like,
why do
she used to go. Her line used to always be.
He gave me tea, Brandon. He said, "Is that Coach Brandon?"
That's my son right there.
And checked out the office.
Ethan.
Yeah.
I had some girl tell me, she was like, "It's your fault that we get pregnant." I was like, I looked at her. I was like, you can kind of say that because a lot of us be like, yeah, we gonna hit that and go raw, but it was your choice to let us go raw. Like,
I wasn't mad by myself, bro. Like,
right. How it's men's fault, but somebody wrote a book. But my whole thing is, you won't get me with the open door. I know that. Men's fault. Fuck that. You want to hit it raw? Sure, we can hit raw, and then we are going down to the CVS. You are buying this morning after pill because I'm absolutely not having no goddamn baby, bruh. I don't give out babies for free. I do not give out babies for free.
Oh man.
With that being said,
how much you charging?
For what?
You said you don't give out babies for free.
Go ahead, log out. Go ahead, log out.
Like,
log out.
You know,
yeah, she was. Hey, Jeff, she was telling me that shit.
He had the fan of flame. Like, yo, that shit is crazy to me. Women be like, and he left me with these kids. Motherfucker, you gave him them kids willfully. You had an expectation in return that he didn't agree to. Because most times that's what happens. There's this expectation, but we didn't come to an accord.
No.
And now you upset. But that's on you too, boo. You can call him trifling, but you trifling too.
It's so many
people. On a lighter note, shout out to Cape Cod for their kettle cooked salt and vinegar chips. These motherfuckers is good.
Say what the fuck?
What did you eat today? What did you eat today? Did you give it out free endorsements? Like, no free advertising. What is wrong with y'all?
It is so many people in this world that don't want to take responsibility for the situation that they are in.
There's a lot of people like that.
It's always somebody else's fault, yo. Like, ooh, this might have happened.
That's a red flag.
That might have happened. Yeah, but every time you turn around, it's not a motherfucking person.
That's a red flag.
No, that shit is on fire. You're the fuck on fire if you can't take the fucking. You're the fuck on fucking red flag. You the fuck on fire.
Absolutely. That is a bona fide red flag. When you come in contact with people who are in messed up situations and they can't tell you anything that they could have done to make that situation better as adults, that's a red flag. Because you grown. Who was doing what to you when because you're allowing it?
They say that's narcissistic.
Absolutely. That narcissistic behavior. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because there's so many extremes of it. Because I hate a victim. I hate oh my God. They just
man, you ain't lying. They cry that victim shit all the time.
All the time.
Why me? Why this happened to me? Oh, check you. Maybe you need to talk to you. You ever tried talking to you? Yeah. You know what's so crazy? You don't even like you. You ever notice that? You don't even like you.
Absolutely. Because if you're letting people do things like that, or you're letting people mistreat you, you have a bigger issue than the other person.
Fact.
That's an internal issue. Which goes back to what Jay said about your healing.
That's the mouth. Hey, Jeffrey. I mean,
yeah.
All the time.
Shit.
Oh,
I
hell yeah.
know some grown men blame all the girls they know. Yeah, man, this one wasn't right for this. That one. Hold up, player. What was you right for? This ain't
You
about
know,
me. This
that
is about
reminds me.
them.
My daughter asked me why me and her mother weren't together,
Ooh.
Oh,
and this is how I knew
How old is she?
I was a
Around
total different person. My daughter's 9. This is
Oh,
how I
shit.
knew I'm a total different person than who I used to be. I told her the truth. I'm like, yo, I couldn't keep my pants up, baby. She's like, what you mean you couldn't keep your pants up? I was like, Daddy likes your mother and everybody else too. And she was like, huh? I'm like, look, Daddy had multiple girlfriends. Your mother was just one of them.
he
She's
drunk.
like, did mommy know about this? I said, absolutely not.
Woo, Lord.
But it's true.
Not until you tell them. Not
the
until
grape
you tell
juice,
them.
the
That's what
apple
I said.
juice, and the orange juice all at the same time.
Listen, when you have to have hard conversations with your children, and
Yo.
I've had to have several hard conversations with my children, and I tell people, my mother gets upset with me, but my children know who I am. And I know who they are. But I find that when you admit that you have flaws to your children, they're so much more willing to talk to you.
Here's the shit that fucked me up. After I had that conversation, right? I'm thinking my daughter's gonna be like, oh my God, you're such a bad person. And she's like, oh, okay. And then
because they understand so much more.
I'm like, wait, that's it?
I was ready to ask, do you think she fully understood, or she was just saying,
No,
okay.
she fully understood because her follow-up questions were crazy too. Her follow-up questions were crazy. She was like, so did mommy know that you had? She's like, did mommy know that? I'm like, nah, she found out. She's like, how long did this happen? I'm like, shit, how old are you? Like, you know, I don't know, it's funny now, but it wasn't funny when I had that conversation. That shit was tough. But I found myself having a lot of tough conversations. More tough conversations with my son than anything, because he's the oldest. So it's like, he'll ask questions like, okay, well, are you and mommy ever getting together? And like I have a knee-jerk reaction. I'm like, fuck no. But I was like, oh wait,
right.
No, Fatty.
Jay, it's crazy that you're talking about this because I just had this conversation with my daughter. She recently asked me, would me and her father get back together? And I told her no. And I had to explain to her my why, and it made me extremely uncomfortable. And just to share like just bullet points of us being very different people, of sometimes too much time passes by and you're just not able to move backward. Because I explained to my ex-husband once I filed for divorce, I couldn't unring that bell. So there was nothing that he would be able to do to get me in the same space with him mentally if he were to want to do that again. And then I had to explain the fact that I don't feel safe with him in a way that she could understand. Because when you say things like not feeling safe, people assume, well, was he beating on you? No. But I don't trust my emotional, my mental, my spiritual space with him. And because of that, there's no way for me to mentally be in a relationship with somebody I don't feel safe with. When safety, like, you know, we always say men are providers, but I need you for my safety. Like, that's my number one thing. If I don't feel safe, we're never going anywhere. I don't feel safe. So that's a no for me. And that was a hard conversation to have with my daughter about her father.
It's exactly. But the thing is that, you know, when I had to have that conversation with my daughter, her mother was a blessing when I met her. She just ran into the bad version of me. Like, if I was to meet my child's mother now, I'd marry her and all that. But I met her back then when I was still going through what I was going through. And I'm like, I ran her through the ringer. And like lo and behold, she's an angel. Alreem, I love you if you're watching. Love you so much. But it's just knowing what I know now. I had to tell my daughter, like, yo, it was me. It was me. Your mother did nothing. Your mother was an angel. I was the devil. I did this, and that. I stayed overnight at Chick's house. Your mother pulled my credit card statement and saw the hotel bills. You know what I'm saying? So like, boy, look.
But that's a red flag in itself in relationships. So red flag number one is dealing with someone that isn't healed. But red flag number two is the person trying to save the person who is not healed.
She never knew.
And
I was gonna hide it.
Listen, she knew. If she was laying with you and she was loving you like you say she was, she knew. But she loved you enough to deal with the potential man that you could be versus the man that you were. Now, I don't know if she knew that psychologically, but that's what was happening.
Yeah, she's always been a fixer. She's always been a fixer type. Like she's always
and fixers tend
the olive
to
branch
have their
person.
own issues that they need to contend with. Because when you deal with people with those kinds of issues and you're constantly trying to fix them, that is a version of people pleasing. And that is rooted in something.
So you're working together then.
Yeah.
Listen.
What you mean is the whole way
together, but like doesn't even know it.
You're talking about toxic behavior in itself, and it's so normal.
We were feeding off each other.
Yes, exactly. You're talking about, because what's happening is when you're dealing with two broken people, you're constantly triggering each other, inadvertently or directly. You cannot be in a relationship broken. And I tell people all the time, especially women, when you are dealing with these men and they come in and they fix you, and I just want to thank him for loving me at my worst. That disturbs my soul. Because there was a lot that man there was a lot that man had to endure. There are a lot of things in you that are still broken, but there are band-aids on it because you're dealing with a good man. But if he flipped a coin, you're gonna be triggered and spiral out of control.
Wow.
So when we have these conversations about dealing with people in relationships, you have to understand that healing is very pertinent to having healthy relationships, period.
Yes.
Because here's the thing, we're never going to be like perfect versions of ourselves, so to speak, untraumatized, because even if you don't have childhood trauma, there has been trauma in your life as part of life. Now, whether it's deep-rooted or shallow, doesn't matter. We all have our own traumas, triggers, right?
You know, not to cut you off, I'll let you get right back to it.
No, go ahead.
You know, the reason why I went and sought out therapy and went and sought out just self-help books and so on and so forth, because in my relationships, in my past, there are always what ifs. Like, if I was able to give you the best version of me, maybe this would have worked out. And I got tired of it. Like, all right, because I was always, I've skated through life half-assing it, and I've gotten great at it. But I was tired of it. Like, all right, if I got this far half-assing it, if I really went 100%, I know, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it'd be different. Same with my love life. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I went and did the healing. I went and did the research. I went and fucking climbed up the hill, did the steps. So it's like, so now whenever I get into a relationship, I'm like, this is the best version of me you're going to get. And if it doesn't work, there's nothing I can say that I didn't do to make it work. I gave you the best version of me. And if we just don't work, we just don't work.
You know what? Something I tell my wife often is I'm doing the best that I can right now.
Facts.
Right now, based on everything that I know, I'm giving you the best that I have at this moment. It can get better. It could get worse, but hopefully it do get better. But right now, this is all I have.
Tell him, Jeff.
Absolutely. Like, so when I divorced, I had to put a pin in a lot of relationships for me, both platonic and, romantic, because there were things that I had
First word you said again?
For me. I had to learn who I was again. I was married 14 years. I had to learn who Letitia was as a single woman, as a mother, getting comfortable with myself, which was very hard, by the way.
You had people that was there with you, though.
Huh?
You had people that was there with you.
You were right there.
I was there.
You were right there with me.
Dropping off cases of water. Dog ate the damn halls.
Bro,
shit.
this ain't about you right now, bro.
People,
right? Then you go trying to save the moment. Always trying to be a super saver, motherfucker. Keep talking about you super saver, motherfucker. Damn.
Listen.
I'm just going to
leave BJ alone. People often ask me why I'm not jaded. I'm not jaded because I did the work. I'm not jaded because I did the work. And I understood that at the end of the day, it wasn't me. At the end of the day, it wasn't me. That version of Letitia is dead. She had to die. That Phoenix concept comes from rising from the ashes because I had to do a lot of work and stripping myself down and being comfortable in my bare form was the most uncomfortable 18 months of my life. Facing my demons, facing my imperfections, learning how to say that I'm not okay because I'm everyone's sounding board. Learning how to say I'm not okay. Pushing people away when they needed me, but I needed to be here for myself. Those were things that I had to learn how to do and be comfortable in doing it.
That's hard.
But when you do the work,
sometimes you got to put it on vibrate, set that shit to the side.
You know, you were one of few people that could get a hold of me in that time period because I wasn't answering my phone for people.
Yeah,
for me,
I wasn't coming outside. I wasn't interacting with people. My family saw me scarcely.
I'm sure that I need therapy and I need to start therapy and stuff like that. But I feel like even though like there are things that I haven't worked out, I feel like the best thing that I've learned in life is understanding. And I had to take a step back and live life to start to understand why things were the way they were. And that might be a cop-out. You know what I'm saying? That might be, giving somebody some crutches that don't deserve it. But at the same time, for my healing process, I had to learn to understand. And one of the things I had to learn to understand, and what I'm talking about is basically with my father. One of the things I had to learn to understand is he gave me the best that he had at that moment.
Is that the truth, though?
Probably.
That's the thing.
Because when you're not working on yourself, when you're not working on your stuff, because for somebody to be abusive, they have their own demons. And if they have not worked it out, you're getting who they are. And this is part of therapy because for me, I had to learn how to let things go. And it wasn't about them, it was about me. I don't internalize anything. I say my piece to people and I move on. And I can absolutely not deal with you, but not hold a bone about it. And most of the time I have to outwardly tell people I don't mess with you like that because I'm cordial. But I'm able to be cordial because I said what I said and I left it there. I understand that that's a you problem and not a me problem. You acting funky with me, that's a issue. That's a you issue and not a Letitia issue. Self-awareness. I've always had that. So I know when I'm being a motherfucker. Do you?
There you go.
But this is honesty. This is transparency because I'm transparent about who I am with people.
So to you, that's being transparent and honest and upfront. To everybody else, you just being an asshole.
But I am an asshole.
There we go.
But we all some assholes.
Here's the thing. But what version of me do you know, BJ? Because there's some steps to get to the asshole. There's steps. Like you gotta do stuff to get me there.
But
understand,
what about sending your son?
Coin, Letitia can be this very sweet, caring person, and then when I'm in a bad mood, I tell people up front, it's not a good day. You may not want to talk to me. Most people proceed, but what I'm saying is people are never blindsided by what they get from me because I'm very transparent about where I am in that moment. I'm very transparent about how I feel about people, and I'm willing to have a conversation because I often talk about myself in the third person when I'm in a group setting, Jeffrey. I oftentimes open dialogue with people because I feel like you should be able to say whatever you want to say to people. Respectfully, of course.
Respectfully. That's the key word. That's the key word. That's the key word. Respectfully, say what it is that you need to say. Don't sit there and be like, oh, never mind. Be a fucking adult and say what it is that you need to say, but say it in a way where you're not trying to tear somebody down. Like if you don't like something that somebody said at that moment or you disagree with it, disagree. Talk about it. Have a conversation. Don't sit there and fucking, oh, fuck that shit. No, don't do that because you're not going to get the results you think you're going to get.
And then it's okay to say, look, I'm not okay to have a conversation right this minute.
Right this minute, exactly.
Because that's the other thing. People want to have, no, I'm going to deal with this now. Well, how? Because you're hollering, and it's the first time you yell at somebody, they're going to start yelling back. That's not effective communication. That doesn't work. Doesn't work. Like, take a beat.
Also, a lot of people listen to rebuttal and not listen to actually understand.
Exactly. I said that earlier.
People they just want to, like, that's why I never throw anybody under the bus, but yeah. Like,
you can't. You can't do that. You have to actually sit there. Effective communication, as y'all were saying.
But you gotta want to understand somebody else's point of view.
Yeah.
Because there's some people that feel like everything that they say is absolutely true, and there's no fault in nothing that they do or say.
But that's where, like,
that's what we were just talking about. Accountability.
Right. That goes back to what we were saying earlier about can toxic relationships be healed? Because what you just said, that's a lot of people's standpoint. Nothing. I didn't do anything wrong to you. I'm your mother, and blah 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 blah. You understand what I'm saying? And so when you get into those types of conversations with people, you then have to know, yeah, this is not going anywhere, and end the conversation instead of frustrating yourself. Because that's another thing that we do as people. We want to be heard to the point where we will argue with somebody who they're never going to hear you. They're going to die on that hill. You got to figure out how to be okay without the apology because they're going to die on that hill.
Yeah.
That, like I said earlier, I'm searching for an apology that I'm never going to get, bro. And I'm okay with it.
Somebody told me some shit a long time ago, a real ass statement. And I'm sure all of y'all have heard it before. From afar, two people arguing both look like fools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
why a lot of times I just let them talk. Let them talk. Let them have their whole conversation.
Then it's just be like, okay.
Okay. It be motherfuckers that be cussing me out in text like, and my response, okay.
They said that a full paragraph message, and you just be like, okay.
Yeah, no, they
give them the one letter.
They get even mad and leave me a voice message. I'll be right back with a voice message. Okay.
Give them the one letter answer. Okay.
All right.
No,
all right,
I don't say K. We just had a conversation about K. K is for some other people, some superstars out there. K is not for no grown ass men.
My God.
You better put the O on that joint.
OKAY. All right, so it's way past gone now. But I didn't want to stop the conversation, so went on and got the extra time. So
yeah, all we did was toxic. I think we just did more toxic families and relationships.
Listen, it works.
That family, that's a relationship.
Familial relationships is still a relationship.
We want to thank Phoenix Speaks for coming on today with us.
Thank you.
Yes, it was so great to see your beautiful face.
We want to thank Jay for opening up, and hopefully he can sleep better tonight.
Sleep great every night, brother.
Hey man,
I
do want to tell you. I definitely want to tell you that I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Sharing your story, man. That's what's up,
bro. That's just the tip of the iceberg. I gave y'all the highlights. I didn't give y'all the shit gets darker, but fuck it.
That story.
If my story helps somebody else, I'm good with it.
You should write about it, bro.
Yeah, you should write a book about it.
Might as well make some money. Might as well make some money off the shit.
Hey, listen.
Yeah, might as well get rich off your pain.
He said, "Whoa, what?" Then it said, "Holler at me." Go ahead.
Nah, I ain't say no. I'd rather get his own bag, man. Just don't act like you don't know me when you get that bag. That's all I'm saying. Don't act like you don't know me, man. I don't need no money. I just need to be in some special places, see some special people. That's all.
All my cousins that I babysitted over the years, when I found out they got a job, yo, I need that 20-piece nugget, shorty. Let me holler at me, shorty. I need that 20-piece nugget. That's it.
He ain't serious though.
Nugget.
That's 20-piece.
Didn't he just say? Didn't he just say he ain't gonna turn his kids to live with him?
Did any of your family members work at hip hop?
Huh?
Did any of your family members work at hip hop?
No, hip hop. Shit, I'm family there stealing fucking chicken. All right, that's it. That's all we got to go. Dennis.
God bless. Good night, baby.